But I've always been taught to be a blood nurturer. To nurture this here. Because it's all that is a man at the end of the day. You know, we say that, you know, when you get a rush of blood, or you get a burst of anger, and you see your blood boil, that's your mugai. Yeah. That's your spirit being affected by words spoken. It's like a sense that connects you to the outer, to the other spiritual realms and the other spiritual lights that are here before us. We're all lights. But this is a light that has a shade been put over it so we don't shine too brightly. But I know the light of my people. It has never been put out. Out of all that we've gone through in history, we are still a people who are able to give our hand in friendship and in the truth in which it has been given. And we're tired of being sitting in a managed state. We have a black blanket over us that poisons us. Never allows us to see the light of day. Never for us to have a voice in this country. We've had enough. We've had enough of the management conditions. When they took us off the reserves, these concentration camps, all they did was just move the goalposts and made it a little bit harder for us to walk in this land. Because after the fence posts and the wiring that we had to come through, or to get a letter off to walk in this country, we see a fence post called the laws that determine how we stand and how we walk in this country. Well, this law ain't good enough for me. It ain't even good enough for their own that are subjects to it. Because it deprives you of a friendship with me. Because your law determines and distinguishes me as a human being on my own country. I've always been taught to give respect where respect is due. Well, I'm always the first one to hand the hand of respect to any man. It depends on how he respects me back. Am I going to treat him the way that I want to treat him? I can be only as honest with a man as much respect that I have for him. Truly, this is a time where the wind of our ancestors is blowing across this land. We have sat dormant in exile in our own country, seeing what we saw in a virgin state now being destroyed before our very eyes. And the government asks us to be silent while they destroy our sacred sites, while they want to come in and poison our waters. They're not just poisoning us. We have a blood-tied covenant by the Almighty Himself. This country can never be a nation without us coming and sitting at the table and walking in the truth as it should be taught. As shameful as our past is, as painful as it is. They say healing comes through walking in the truth. If we take offense to the truth, then we walk from it. There's no healing. All we're asking as a people, we offer you, not the government, but we have to trust the Australian people for a fair go in this country for ourselves. And we offer you the hand of friendship, reconciling us one to another with the Githabul and Narukable people. We have only raised our weapons in self-defense at any time. And if you've seen pictures of us where we're lining one another up for a tribal war, we're just working out who's got the bigger stick and who should walk away. It's simple. And I know if If I see a bloke on the battlefield with a bigger spear and a bigger stick, I'm going to walk away. I'll look for peaceful dialogue. Well, the stick that the government's hitting us with is all their documentation. Every time they've come down with a document, thinking that we are going to get something, they're actually giving us something to rob us with. And more often, they rob us of our dignity. They rob us of our moral fibre. They corrupt even some of those who are supposed to be our leaders. Their respect amongst their people have gone because they've been put in a situation where they've had to fall to corruption so that the government can control. We're not here to destroy our people's reputation because we know what they've had to deal with. We know exactly why the documents that came down here have always kept us in a managed state, and they only give us enough to get by with and make sure that we are always left in a state of want, where if we make a noise, they pull away. You know, the first job in this country was, I believe it was a warden in a prison system to keep convicts in place. Well, them wardens are now our wardens. We have 4 generations of our people sitting in the jail system. These are our spiritual tablets that we are supposed to be writing on. We have become complacent ourselves as a people because we've been kept in such a handout state. And it's so comfortable that we are even allowing the government to write their laws on the hearts and the minds of our children. And they're coming out with a moralistic state where their heroes are criminals. Or they're coming out knowing how to do a crime better. Where does our story, where is there room for us? Where is there room for us to put our laws, our culture, our standards upon the hearts of these spiritual tablets that are supposed to be ours alone, written by our hands and by our spirit? And they call this reconciling with us, the government? Don't think so somehow. But for you, to stand here with us, the Githabul people, we thank you so much. We are so privileged. This comes from my mugai. That comes from the blood that is running through my veins here. I say thank you. I give you honor. Thank you very much, people. We are so proud to have you alongside of us. Thank you.